is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. It is Friday, TGIF. Almost time for the long weekend. And speaking of, we didn't really talk about this, you guys, but what are we doing Monday? Are y'all going to be around Monday? Should I still do a morning report on Monday? I'm free if you guys want to, FYI. But I imagine that it's going to be rather slow as far as stories go. But just an FYI, you guys. Let's see who we've got with us in the building today. We've got Ramster. Ramster says she's got an appointment in the hospital, nothing serious. But here to press the, you're so sweet, like button to wish everyone a happy Easter weekend. And until next week, we're going to miss you, Ramster. Thanks so much for popping in and for showing out. We hope everything is going well with you, and we're looking forward to catching you again next week. Good morning, Caroline, Ronnie, Shemjem. Shemjem, you're going to Mexico. I'm so happy for you. Really, I am. I'm jealous too. You're going to Mexico. Oh my gosh, how amazing. How long are you going to spend there? What are you going to do? How does it feel to be living my dream? That's amazing. What city are you going to? Hey, Monica, good morning. Venetia, Tadisha. Oh, Monica, wow, thank you for being a member for almost 2 years now, 22 months. Holy cow. Does the time ever fly by? Thank you. And you are indeed on time. Hey, Kahara, Melissa, Jessica, Gail, Nikki, Jay. What? Jay, we'll catch you when you pull up wherever you are. Be safe, boo. Be safe. Thank you for checking in. Hey, Caitlin. Foxy, we miss you, boo. Nice to see you again. Jasmine, Nicole, Lucky, Maya. Wow, you guys, I am so looking forward to today's stories. We've got an awful lot to discuss. It's not exactly happy news, I have to say, but it's news that still needs to be discussed nonetheless. Tadisha's going back to work on Monday. My goodness gracious. Wow. Why Monday specifically? Because it's a holiday. Why wouldn't they send you back to work on the Tuesday specifically? Monica says, I love it here. 2 years did fly by. Thank you. And how did you like the thing we tried out yesterday, Thursday? So I'm launching a new segment on Mondays called the what is it? Member Only Mondays or something like that. And we tested it out yesterday with the J story. I hope you enjoyed it, Monica. You guys, speaking of stories, let me give you a little bit of a rundown on what we're going to be discussing today, okay? Diddy's legal team is claiming that there are multiple versions of the Cassie video. You guys remember the hotel videotape that leaked and really kind of just took the world by storm? He's saying that the world hasn't seen the official version, and so they're fighting to get that thrown out and not used as evidence in court against him. Wendy Williams is accusing her guardian and the people in charge of her of trying to force her to take some mystery medication and refusing to give her a proper update on her health in regards to her Graves' disease. The government found 4 new alleged victims in the Diddy situation, and Diddy wants all of this to be thrown out or suppressed. He is freaking out, and I've got the court documents to prove it. Drake is still crying, by the way. Actually, before we even get to the Drake, Jenelle, speaking of crying, she's trying to do some damage control after the stories have been going. Remember how yesterday we discussed Jace's alarming TikTok videos? She posted something on her Facebook in a very, low effort way to do damage control. Drake is still crying about Kendrick Lamar. This time he is amending his complaint to include Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance and the fact that Kendrick Lamar censored the PDF file line And there's actually a big question that I wanted to ask you guys, especially those of you who are mama bears, about Khloe Kardashian. In her interview with Call Her Daddy, she was talking about how she does not believe in sleepovers at all for her children, even at her sister's homes. And I found that to be quite interesting. And I'm really looking forward to seeing and hearing what some of you guys have to say about that as well. Because, of course, I understand that with friends and whatnot, and with some family members, but I'm surprised that her in particular, with her particular family members, that she's not feeling it. And I'll tell you why, okay, when we get to that story. Hey, Delisa, nice to see you, boo. Hey, Caitlin, you too. Nice to see you. Shem is going to Puerto Morelos to read on the beach and sip mojitos, and I'm staying 5 days. Girl after my own heart. Live it up. Have the best time, Shem Jem. Oh my God, you deserve it. That is incredible. Monica says, yes, I love the active chat too. Nice to hear one topic at a time and to talk about it. I love it. So good. Hey, JW, nice to see you. And Minnie as well. Yup, indeed. Janelle is still out here thotting and bopping as she's talking about how she is trying to, drop everything for her son. Please. Ronnie says, I enjoyed the live yesterday. I hope next time I'm not at work so I can participate and hang out. You know what? I hope so too. So it's going to be Monday. So I hope you're not working on Monday. I don't know what story we're going to be discussing Monday, by the way, but it's going to be Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. Now, why don't we start off with the Diddy story, y'all? We already know that they have claimed that the footage that we saw of him being very aggressive and just attacking and pulverizing Cassie on a hotel floor as she was trying to escape via the elevator. He's saying that CNN published an edited version, they destroyed the original, and that they are non-credible, right? So now he's got somebody, some sort of quote unquote expert on his team that has examined footage and claimed, by the way, this person's name is Connor McCourt, and he is a forensic video technician who works for P. Diddy's team. And Connor is a former New York City police officer who has many years of experience analyzing video footage. He said in a sworn deposition that he reviewed the clip that CNN published and another video of the surveillance footage that was recorded off of the tape on an iPhone 6. And he says that both versions that he has seen are illegitimate, essentially, right? And so he says that the video that CNN aired for us was appearing to be sped up because it was converted from one file type to another. And then on the iPhone 6 version of the surveillance tape, he says that one distorts Diddy's size almost purposely to make him appear to be wider and larger than he was at the time. And listen, none of us saw the iPhone 6 version, so who cares about that one when you've got the raw footage? It feels as though they are kind of just trying to muddy the waters a little bit here. And then he also says that there are time code issues between both of the videos that he reviewed. He said that at least 3 timestamps all depict different times for the same moment, while other times the same time code in 2 different videos seems to show 2 different moments. So he's saying that it appears as though somebody might have tinkered around with the video and that it's not the same video or the original video in its true and raw format, you guys. And so his ultimate conclusion upon reviewing the footage is, and I quote, "A viewer does not know what happened during those numerous breaks in the video. None of the available video files are accurate and reliable copies of the original," right? And so remember, Diddy said that CNN destroyed the original version of that hotel video. However, CNN denied altering and destroying the footage, right? They said that the source, AKA the hotel, or the people from the hotel, they still have the original video untouched. And so Diddy's team, they can go, I think that the source of that original video is going to be subpoenaed for the footage. And so whatever Diddy's team is arguing here about these other pieces that may not be original footage, I don't think that it's ultimately going to matter at the end of the day when they could just go ahead, show the original, in its entirety. It wouldn't surprise me that CNN trimmed the original and whatnot, or not the original, but trimmed the footage before they put it out there, because they're on time constraints. They can't just show the full thing. They have to clip it to show the most kind of apt or important parts of it, within a reasonable time frame. So to me, that's not a huge deal. I think that they're just trying to plant some seeds of doubt in the public's mind. Gail says, I'm praying that Diddy Combs doesn't get out of jail and he is guilty. Me too. Amen indeed, Gail. Hey, Acacia. Good morning, Cammie. Nice to see you, lovely ladies, as well. Ronnie says, it doesn't matter if the video was sped up or if they photoshopped him to make him look fat. He still did it, right? At no point does he deny doing any of the things in that video. And on top of that, he also issued an apology acknowledging that he did those things in the video, right? So in my opinion, this is him just trying to plant seeds of doubt in the court of public opinion and in the court of law as well. Hey, Brie, nice to see you. Lucky says, but the video still has him hitting her, so the court may still let the evidence in. I agree. And don't forget, CNN did not have the original. They got a copy from the originator. So they could still go to the originator and get the full original footage, which I believe they probably already have at this point. Tadisha says, I don't care what version it is. Diddy's actions were disturbing. He's right where he should be. Prison. There you go. That is exactly what it is. And I'm so happy that you guys are not being swayed at all by any of the arguments that he is making. He really is just desperate and trying to muddy the waters. Like Jasmine says, still guilty. You did that, whether they sped it up, slowed it down, trimmed it, this or that. You are in that video doing that thing. And Cassie is a willing witness ready to testify to you doing that thing to her. So why are we even wasting the time here, right? Right? Pathetic. Who cares about the timestamps? My God. Hey, Cynthia, I'm so happy you got to start on The Valley. Is that season 1 or the season 2? Speaking of, you know what I was doing before I popped in today for today's morning report? I was watching Love on the Spectrum season 2. I love that show. I'm such an addict. And Tanner was on his date with Callie and they were just like dancing. And I was like, oh, this is so sweet. I love the show so much. Check this out. It says, when they first released the video, I remember that another part he sat on that white chair behind him. Then he threw the flower pot at her as well. I thought it was me thinking it got shortened. I remember that too. I remember that as well, right? So there are just many different angles, different cameras that captured this man doing brutal things towards Cassie. So I really do not think that this is going to be a legitimate defense on, for him or for his team. Hey, Emily, so happy you were able to catch a live. Thanks for being part of the Playback Posse. So that so far is his defense, but good luck to him on that. I don't think it's going to be able to stick. At the end of the day, he did what we saw in this video. He acknowledged, he apologized for doing it, said he was in a bad place. And Cassie is a witness, right? And so I still think, even without the footage, she could still testify to this having happened, right? Now, speaking of Cassie, she's actually fighting back against Diddy again in court because Diddy is demanding that she turn over her bank statements and a book that she had written about him. And so I really feel as though he's doing this in an effort to try to discredit her as a witness, in an effort to try to intimidate her as well, because essentially what he's going to try to say here is, oh, well, is she really a victim or is she somebody who's just trying to profit off of this situation, right? Like, is this something she's doing? Is she in financial struggle, right? Did she have much money in the bank before I paid off my settlement to her? Like, it's all about trying to sow seeds of doubt in terms of Cassie's credibility. And I really cannot stand that. Dude, you settled with this woman in 24 hours for a reason. Give it a rest. So shout out to TMZ for being able to get a copy of the legal documents that Cassie filed in court. She said in her filing that Diddy sent her a subpoena on March 19th, demanding that she turn over all draft memoirs, autobiographies, narratives, diaries, journals, or notes, and any communications about plans to publish or threaten to publish such a document. He also demanded in that subpoena that she hand over her bank statements as well, right? And so just, oh my God. There was a rumor going around when she had filed her initial lawsuit against him that she had gone to him and said, hey, listen, I'm going to be writing a memoir about my time with you and just how terrible it was, how abusive you are. And you can get rid of this. You can buy it off of me for $30 million. So I do think that this is something that they want to revive as a narrative in the court of law. And so one of Diddy's lawyers claimed in September that Cassie had her lawyer call Diddy in order to, quote unquote threaten this. And so it really feels as though this is what he is trying to, to revive as a narrative in order to help kind of shake the table a little bit in regards to the prosecution side. You know what? Even if that's what Cassie did, Diddy, you are a tried and true dummy. Because if you had just gone ahead and paid her that $30 million that she asked for, I don't think that you would be in as big of trouble as you are right now, because you managed to get away with all this stuff for so long. And it was when she filed that lawsuit that the floodgates opened and so many people came forward with their own stories to tell about you. And then the Fed swooped in and ultimately got you all over $30 million, which, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he wound up paying her within the 24 hours of her lawsuit. It's crazy what cockiness, what, just arrogance can do to your life, right? Check this out. Says, no matter what he did, no matter what he says, he did it, right? Hey, Casey, nice to see you. Gail says, yeah, he's very guilty. And he's also guilty of trafficking too. I believe it all. I want this guy locked up for life. The stories have been here for decades. It's not just a coincidence. Nikki says, does her intentions matter if he really? Exactly. And that's the thing I hate about the law sometimes, and like court and whatnot, when you're following these things, is that there are so many things that are so irrelevant to the overall story that get thrown in just to try to muddy the waters, confuse people, exhaust people. And it's so freaking annoying. I cannot stand it. I hate that it's even something that can be used as a legitimate strategy. It's such a waste of time. I wish we were able to just keep it to the facts at hand. Did you or did you not beat that woman up in that hotel hallway, Diddy? And if you didn't, then why did you get up on Instagram crying, talking about, oh, I'm sorry, I was in a bad place, I was a bad person, if you didn't do it? This Diddy nonsense, man, it just tires me out. I am so sick of him. And you guys might have noticed this. At first, when people were suing him, I was doing a lot of coverage on the lawsuits that were coming out. But even a lot of the people that were coming out to sue him after Cassie, like a lot of them were giving clout chaser vibes too, with their bogus lawsuits, and then them trying to sensationalize things by throwing in other celebrities and then going, oh, wait a minute, I changed my mind. This didn't happen. That didn't happen. Like, I just want to stick to the feds and him going to jail or not going to jail at this point, because I am so over all of the opportunists in this situation who might ruin this case for us all, you know? Foxy says he really thought that he would get away with it, and he was still having those freak off parties in 2024. Exactly. The fact that he was still doing this, even when he was put on notice that he was under investigation, is crazy. And speaking of Foxy, do you guys think that like he's going through heavy withdrawal? Because it seemed as though he had some sort of an addiction to like uppers or something like that, like Molly or whatever, and like he was doing it all the time. Like, didn't they catch his drug mule and whatnot? Speaking of his drug mule, I have not really heard anything from him too. Like, do you think that something's going to be happening soon? Are we going to be hearing testimony from the rug mule and whatnot? Like, what do y'all think is going to be happening with that guy? East Awesome says, shaking my head. Y'all better remember, East said that Diddy will get away with all of this BS. No, don't say that. I'm not listening. I don't like it, but that is capitalism. Remember, East said it. Listen, East, we're going to remember it, but I truly hope that you are wrong. Diddy deserves to rot in jail for the rest of his life. Foxy says Diddy is still a big danger to women, and I could not agree anymore. Keep him locked up away from the general public. And once again, thank you to Cassie for being the titan to stand up against this creature. I almost said man, but he's not even a man. He's a creature. Vermin, scum. Ugh. Now, you guys, let's get into the Wendy Williams story. Speaking of vermin and scum, the guardian that's controlling her. Yeah, I'm putting her in that category, because what the heck is she doing? You know, we've already heard about Wendy being trapped in that facility, her going to a random independent hospital and passing her dementia test with flying colors. They said this is a fully functioning grown woman. What the heck is going on? The guardian said that she had all her freedom. She's lying. Meanwhile, she wasn't even allowed to go out to dinner with her niece and her lawyer. And now Wendy is telling her friends over at TMZ that her medication has been changed. And she usually has to take a pill of a certain color for her Graves' disease. And then all of a sudden, just the other day, they started giving her a pill of a different color. And so she asked, she said, "What is this pill? I have no clue about this. I have never taken this. What is it? Right? And why is my medication changing? Has my condition changed? Is my Graves' disease worse than it was before? Is it improving?" And nobody who is tasked with taking care of this woman is willing to give her an answer. Is this even medication for Graves' disease? Is what she's wondering at this point. And I do not blame her. It's very, very creepy, sick, devious what is happening to this woman. I don't get it. So Wendy is reportedly very anxious about all of this and wants to get an answer, because for all she knows, they could be trying to worsen whatever, she's got going on mentally in order to prove what they want to prove, which is that she deserves to be locked up for life. She shouldn't be free. Right. And so she's hesitant to be taking this medication. And so she's even tried to call her doctor to get some answers, but she's not able to get through to her doctor. She asked her guardian to get in touch with her doctor and, to let her know if something's changed with her thyroid problems, but her guardian hasn't even been responding to her. Very, very weird. Everything Wendy's been saying about this is true and creepy. Again, it's like that movie that Ali told me to watch, I Care a Lot. Very sinister what's happening with Wendy Williams. I really thought that when she was hospitalized after sending out that letter for help or that paper for help, and then when she passed the test with flying colors, I thought they'd leave her alone. I thought, we're done, we're good. Didn't they say she could even move out of that facility? So how are we still in this same position? I truly do not understand it. How are they still continuing to do this to her with a straight face, with no shame? I hope that Wendy is able to sue the pants off of these people. This is not right. It really isn't. Good morning, Linda. Nice to see you. Jasmine says justice for Wendy Williams. Justice and free Wendy indeed, like Phoenicia says as well. Foxy says, I feel so bad for Wendy. Will she ever be free again? And it's so sad that we even have to wonder that. Why was her freedom ever stripped away in the first place? Because her son was an overspender? Because her son tried to scam her out of her money, allegedly, or whatever? Why would you deserve to lose your freedom because of that? The story just doesn't make any sense to me. And I feel like whether you like Wendy or not, you should be worried about this, because, if it can happen to her, it can happen to you or anybody. She's got a platform like none other to speak out against this, right? And to blow the lid off of this. So if they would try it with someone like that, what would stop them from trying it with someone who's not famous? It's just so creepy what's happening there. Caitlin says, who in the right mind is going to take something based off of someone's word? What's that in regards to, boo? Wendy or the Diddy story? Gail says they need to free Wendy Williams. And I agree indeed. Free Wendy, y'all. This is crazy. It is so freaking crazy what is happening, and I'm really proud of her for continuing to use her voice to speak out. She knows the risks associated with it. I believe she has been getting punished. Maybe this new changed up medication that they're not even explaining to her what it is, maybe that's her punishment. Maybe they're trying to give her some downers. Maybe, we really never know what it is that they're trying to do. And it's sick and it's creepy and it's evil and it feels unconstitutional as well. Like he says, I still can't believe her son got her into this mess and isn't trying to help her get out. That's the thing. Why is her niece the one doing and her niece has a whole career too. What does her son do? I don't know if the son doing anything. So he's got all the time in the world. He's the one who did this and needs to fix this and fight for her, take all the responsibility, right? And he's just, I'm just hanging around. What are you doing? Nothing. Just hang, What a waste. What a waste. I can't believe how much Wendy fought and suffered to have this disgrace of a son. And it sounds harsh, but it's true. Imagine fighting so hard to have a child and just for your child to turn around and do this to you. Evil, truly, truly evil. Okay, Caitlin. So Caitlin says, who in their mind is going to take medication, right? Based on someone's word. Like, I feel like legally they should be obligated to tell Wendy or anybody, anybody being medicated has the right to know what the medication is and what it's supposed to be doing. Foxy says, yeah, it started with the son, but they have been taking it way too far with getting full control of Wendy and her life. I agree. How is it that this is happening to her, yet Kanye West is able to roam free doing the crazy off the wall stuff that he does? And this man was wasting crazy money too. Do y'all remember that house that he bought from that famous architect, like the brutal architecture type thing, the stone house on Malibu Beach? And then he just like destroyed it, and then he sold it at a loss. Like, everything he buys, he sells at a loss because he destroys it all. Why isn't the bank flagging him at this point, in addition to the other mess that he's doing? Like, I don't get it. And you know what? There's someone too, Haley Joel Osment. That guy is off the rails as well. I'm not seeing any guardianship coming out for him. Like, there are just so many people, men especially, who you would think would qualify for guardianship if the barrier to entry, or if the bar is this low for deciding who gets to be put in one. So why is it always women who are being targeted by this? It's crazy, and I wonder if she has the right to sue, because I know she retained an attorney, and her guardian was threatened or intimidated by this, and so the guardian barred her from leaving her building to go and have dinner with her attorney. Again, another thing that feels like illegal, unconstitutional, just insane. And y'all know, like, she can't even really properly open her window to get fresh air in that building. She's confined to a floor. It's all just so terrible. She is in a living hell. Jen, where have you been? How are you, Jen? Happy Easter weekend in advance. Oh my God, nice to see you. Hey, Trey, nice to see you too. And I'm with you, Nikki. The son, he what did you call it about the apple not falling too far from the tree? He is his daddy's son through and through. Think long and hard before you have kids with somebody. Do you want your kids to turn out like them, like that man you're having kids with? If the answer is no, don't do it. Don't do it. Because here's the thing, you could always ditch the man eventually, but it's going to be real hard to ditch the kids. So think long and hard. Check this out. Says the only reason she's in this is because her son betrayed her, just like Britney's father betrayed her. You see? I'm so sad for these ladies. And Britney, she's been out of her conservatorship for a while now, and she still doesn't seem all that well. But listen, it's not illegal to be unwell. There's unwell people everywhere, right? Anytime you walk out your door, you're going to see a couple of them. It's not illegal. It doesn't mean that you should be locked up and controlled and whatnot. Like, come on, right? Jazz says a lot of our politics behaved unhinged as well, yet they're in office, right? You see, over here on our side too, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I can't stand it. I really can't. Foxy says, I think that Bianca got control of his business and money. Oh, did she take it before she ran away? Remember, he released that song. And for some reason, I'm so embarrassed for myself. That song was stuck in my head. What was it? Don't know what I did to make you mad, Bianca. I just like, what? It's such a bad song, yet somehow it managed to get stuck in my damn head. Luscious says, have y'all watched the movie The Guardian with Lala Anthony? It was a hard fight and win this type of cases. Really? Lala's acting again. Good for her. No, I didn't, but I watched I Care a Lot on Netflix. Gwen says, good morning, y'all. I'm late, but I'm here. We just had hail the size of baseball. Jesus, sorry. I hope your windows are okay. That sounds absolutely terrifying. My goodness. And good morning, Ruby. Nice to see you as well. Happy Easter, Gail. Okay, you guys. Why don't we get into, what story do we have next? Do we have oh God, we have another Diddy story. Listen, y'all, I got another Diddy story, and then we're going to move on to Jenelle, okay? Let's get this out of the way. I want Diddy out of the way because I'm tired of talking about this man and all of his mess. Remember how I told you that the feds, like, they had some new like witnesses or victims that they wanted to talk about in the trial against Diddy, the criminal trial? Well, I've gotten a copy of a document that his team filed in court, and I wanted to go over it with you. Essentially, his team is trying to bar the government from being able to bring up the new alleged victims against him. So why don't we take a look at this together and see what exactly his strategy is for maintaining their silence, shall we? Let me see how I can pull this up. Y'all are able to see it, I hope. But now on my end, I need it to pull up for me so I can see it large enough. Lord have mercy. You know, I have a problem with my MacBook. It's that I never like fully quit things. So when I'm trying to like open and close things, I have like a million of them. So here is the document, okay, you guys, from his legal team. On behalf of Sean Combs, the defense submits this letter in advance of the April 18th what date is it today? Yep, that's today. Today's a conference. And in further support of its motion to exclude the government's Rule 413 and 404B evidence at the April 14 conference, the government misled the court as to the timing of its interviews with the 4 additional alleged victims described in its March 10th, 2025 and March 26, 2025 Enterprise Letter Addendum. The defense writes to correct the record. As the defense noted in its reply brief, quote, it is clear from the 3,500 material that the government has known about these alleged victims for months and months, in some cases over a year. Docket 216 AT3 at the April 14th conference, the government stated that at the time in its enterprise letter was due on February 1st, 2025, it was, quote, not prepared to say that this evidence will be part of its direct case in proving up the racketeering enterprise and racketeering conspiracy. It further represented it was aware of at least some of the alleged victims, but that it didn't know how deep it had gone in its interview with these alleged particular victims. So as an example, the government cited alleged victim number 5, stating the 3,500 material would reveal that particular victim was interviewed multiple times in 2025. I believe much closer to the date of the version of the enterprise letter. So they're panicking, you guys, you know, and this is why they keep on kind of nitpicking things like the Cassie video and whatnot, right? So he's not denying that he, you know, brutalized Cassie in a hallway. He's playing semantics with you guys about it, right? And so now when it comes to these alleged victims and whatnot, again, this is sort of like, oh, well, no, y'all are bringing them up too late, even though the government said that they had new, you know, other alleged victims that they wanted to look into further before the April 18th conference, which is today. So we're going to be able to see how all of that actually pans out, because again, that meeting is today. So don't be surprised if you hear about it later on in the day or by next week, Tuesday. Okay. Gwen says no smashed windows, but holy hell, it was loud hitting the roof. Might need to replace our bathroom fan vents again. Damn it. So sorry to hear that. Hail is crazy, eh? You really can never predict when that stuff is coming too. It's just, whoa. Good morning, Allie. We missed you. How are you doing, boo? Gwen says we're no longer have a national weather service over here in the States. Oh, I heard something about that. That's true. Damn. So we're always prepared for crazy-ish in my house now. Listen, you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, don't you? And I'm glad you stay ready. Diddy, good luck to you. I don't think that this is a good enough excuse. I don't think that it's, you know, this legal motion or whatever is going to do what you want it to do. Good luck to you. Nah. Let's move into the Jenelle story. I'm tired of that, man, y'all. I'm tired of this woman too, but we got to talk about her. Do y'all remember how yesterday on my channel, we were talking about some of the content that Jace had put out on TikTok? Let me pull it up for you guys, okay? On Jace's TikTok, he was reposting a bunch of alarming TikToks, you know, that alluded to him wanting to harm himself or potentially delete himself. And so we were talking about this, and, you know, other people had been talking about it in other places on the internet as well. People were talking about how, unfortunately, it was kind of an inevitable sort of outcome for him, given his upbringing, given his mother, just everything that he's gone through in his young, short life. And now Jenelle is trying to do some damage control on that. Listen, I was just minding my own business on Facebook, because you know what? On my Facebook fan page, the Grace Report, and I haven't really used it in like a year or something like that, because it keeps disconnecting from StreamYard, right? Some random person like sent a notification, and my thing sent me a notification that said, oh, this person wants to delete you as an admin. I said, what? Delete me as an admin from my own page? No, I'm going to delete you. And so that's how I wound up on Facebook, even though I don't really use it like that. And I saw this status that Jenelle posted. I'm so busy, but put everything on pause for my babies. Hashtag family first. You are such a liar. You know how Kyle in Beverly Hills, she says, you're such a freaking liar, Camille. You're such a freaking liar, Jenelle. That's not true. Because you know what she started posting after about how she's having the time of her life with her friend Tori. So you did not drop a damn thing for your children. You've never dropped a damn thing for your children. And that's why you've lost custody of every single one of them at least once or twice. So let's not make a mockery out of our intelligence today, Ms. Jenelle Lauren Evans, Eason Evans, soon to be Evans again, please. Foxy says, I feel so bad for Jace, that poor young man. His mother only cares about herself. Same here. There's so much that she could be doing to step in, intervene, help guide things in a better direction. But listen, what did Jace say? That his mom is one of the people speaking to him poorly, negatively, telling him that she doesn't believe in him and whatnot. So are we really supposed to believe that the person who put him in that situation, the person who slandered his name to the world on social media, has dropped everything to care for him? We're supposed to believe that? Please. Caitlin says, if that was the case, you wouldn't have put that post. Exactly. Drop your phone and be there for your child. You wouldn't have time to post that. Exactly, Kate. Exactly. What is she talking about? Hey, Joy, nice to see you. Yes, Jasmine, thank you for putting the Pinocchio emoji, because this is nothing but your classic Jenelle lie. Gail says Jenelle needed her 3 kids taken away for her for good this time. Unfortunately, at this point, if she managed to get them back every single time, I think at this point it's impossible to permanently lose them. And to be honest, I feel like the damage is done. And that's the sad part, especially when it comes to Jace, because he's already 16, right? Delusional. Jenelle, please. Jenelle, no one believes you. Just take a look at this Liz live chat. And I just know the playback posse is going to be leaving their own opinions in the comment section, telling you that they don't believe you. Come on. Is she still on the Kesha thing too? Oh my God. Narc, delusional, just everything but a present, caring parent to her children. And that is so sad, especially considering the fact that she chose to go ahead and have 3 of them. For what? You didn't have to. You could have been an auntie. You could have just been just chilling, whatever. Why did you go and do this? It's so disappointing. Bree says, how the hell did she lose custody of her daughter to David? Oh my God, that's bad. Did she lose it to David or to the state? Because I know that David is fighting her for custody of Ensley right now. But remember, she had chosen to be with David when David was doing this stuff, when he shot the dog and just was going on all this rampage and stuff. They said, you can keep these kids or you can go with him, but you can't have both. And so she said, Kobe, F them kids. And the daughter was so young. Wasn't the daughter 2-3 years old or something? And she said, no, I'm riding with my man. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. Right, Acacia? She's a coconut tree without the coconuts. I've never heard that expression, but it is cute. Gail says, poor Jace, he told his mom, Jenelle, that he is depressed and she won't believe him. That's very sad to me. She cares more about men than she does her own children. Kate says, and went out with Tori last night after posting this. Yup, and she proudly posted her photos with Tori too. Is she okay? Nikki, she did in the past, of all of the children, and then she got it back. And then now David is fighting her for custody and child support as well. Linda says, I wish Jace could go back with his real mother, Barbara. Me too. Granted, he still had issues with Barbara, but never on this level. Minnie says, Jenelle is an ish mother, but a true friend would not be going out with you when your children are going through this. Tori ain't ish either, period. I agree. I completely agree with you on that. Such a mess through and through. Y'all listen, I'm going to take a little bit of a water break, okay? In the meantime, we got a word from some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to talk about Drake continuing his lawsuit about, being a sore loser over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us song. And then we're going to talk about the Khloe Kardashian story, how she doesn't allow for her children to sleep over, even at her sister's house, okay? If you're enjoying this episode of The Morning Report so far, please don't hesitate to give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the flip side, okay?
The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today.
So as we gear up to get into this Drake story, I had to ask you, how do y'all feel about his lawsuit? I have never heard of a rapper suing over a rap beef, a rap battle, especially one that he started. Drake started dissing Kendrick. It wasn't the other way around. And then, they kind of both threw some very brutal shots at each other. Drake accused Kendrick of beating up his wife, and he accused his wife of having a child that's not Kendrick's child. Like, he made his own very slanderous, very extreme allegations in his own raps against Kendrick. Yes, Kendrick accused him of being a PDF file and whatnot, but listen, that was nothing new. The reason why this song was so popular was because people had been saying this forever about Drake, that he has a lot of very creepy, weird, inappropriate relationships and friendships with minors. He himself has even made public statements about very weird things with minors, right? Like when he was talking about how he loves watching high school girls basketball, how he's always texting with at the time, 15, 14-year-old Millie Bobby Brown, and just all this weird stuff. It didn't come out of nowhere. And he got a jab in or two, very brutal jabs, just like Kendrick got brutal jabs in. And typically you just go, okay, I lost this battle, move on. This wasn't the first rap battle in history. We had Pac and Biggie. We had Lil Bow Wow versus Lil Romeo. We had 50 Cent versus Kanye. And when the person loses, they just say, okay, whatever. And you keep it moving, right? I actually think the rap battle between Kanye and 50 Cent destroyed the rap career of 50 Cent. And then 50 Cent started pivoting towards being a businessman, the vitamin water, being a producer, all sorts of things, an actor and whatnot. And look how successful he is at all that, right? So for Drake to just take it to this level, a legal level, I'm sorry, but like a little bitch, is just so embarrassing for him. And, that he just won't stop and he keeps going and amending his complaint. It's pathetic. It was already hard for him to have street cred anymore, or for people to care for his music anymore. But with this, it's just such a total ick. It's like he says, he's throwing his rocks, hiding his hands, and it's just disgusting. It really, really is. Right? Oh yeah, apparently he was giving Millie Bobby Brown boy advice. Why are you giving a 15-year-old boy advice? That's weird. Jimmy from Degrassi is going to catch a case. And listen, I wouldn't be surprised. Is he going to, in the future, if he is doing touring or anything like that, how difficult is it going to be for him to make it to the Mecca of entertainment, right, in the US, which is LA, California, when he's doing this kind of nonsense? He's not thinking about the longevity of his career. You're already lame now after Kendrick obliterated you in the rap battle. But now with the lawsuit, extra lame, get out of here. So let's talk about how he's using the Super Bowl to try and justify his claims, okay? This is a filing that he made, and I quote, "The recording, aka Not Like Us, was performed during the 2025 Super Bowl and broadcast to the largest audience for a Super Bowl halftime show ever. 133 million people, including millions of children and millions more who had never before heard the song or any of the songs that preceded it. It was the first and will be the last Super Bowl halftime show orchestrated to assassinate the character of another artist. It was not orchestrated for that, Drake. Get over yourself." He had so many other songs. There was a message that was far deeper than you being an alleged PDF file. You know, the whole theme of his performance was about, you know, being Black in America and how to navigate that, right? Like censoring yourself and whatnot. So for Drake to claim that the entire thing boils down to him and being an attack against him is just so damn embarrassing, so damn pathetic. It really is, right? And then, you know how Kendrick censored himself, like at the Super Bowl, he didn't say PDF file. Drake says that that is proof that he and his team, that Kendrick and his team understand that that is defamatory. So you can't win if you do, what is it? Damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? Because if Kendrick said that, then Drake would have been like, and look, he said it at the Super Bowl. Now he didn't say it. Oh, look, he didn't say it at the Super Bowl because he knows it's wrong. He just knows you're a little bitch. He just knows that. And so he doesn't want, the drama of it. And like, of course, with you, like Tadisha says, being a Karen, you want a lawsuit, you want the drama anyway. Oh my God. It makes it hard to like want to continue listening to his music because again, before it's like, okay, he became lame off of this beef, but now with a lawsuit, like listening to Drake music, like embarrassing. What? My God. He's so embarrassing. He really is. And so Drake's lawyer is doing the round in the press talking about his amended lawsuit. He says, and I quote, Drake's amended complaint makes an already strong case stronger. Drake will expose the evidence of UMG's misconduct, and UMG will be held accountable for the consequences of its ill-conceived decisions. All right, we'll see. Listen, we'll see. I just find it pathetic with everything that Drake said. Drake, you were not minding your own business when you got unfairly targeted by Kendrick. You decided that you wanted to claim that you were the GOAT, right? And that this guy needed to bow down to you. You called him a wife beater. You called him all sorts of ugly things. To go say those sorts of things, to tell him that his child is not even his, and all those things. And then to turn around and cry victim when he calls you out for your inappropriate relationship with minors. That's crazy. That is crazy, you guys. So just so you guys know, Universal Music has responded to Drake's allegations. And of course, I want to share that with you guys. Okay, so this is what they had to say about it. Drake is unquestionably one of the world's most accomplished artists, and with whom we've enjoyed a 16-year successful relationship, is being misled by his legal representatives into taking one absurd legal step after another. It is shameful that these foolish and frivolous legal theatrics continue. Damn, Drake, you are burning your bridges, not only with the fans, but like with the industry as well. Because he has been working with these companies. He needs these companies, right? These record labels and whatnot. So to go turn around and sue them over a rap beef, like it's a rap beef. Like this proves what Kendrick was saying about you not being like them. You cosplaying, right? Because no real rapper would do something like this. And this is why no real rapper has ever done something like this. You are a wannabe, a fraud, a fake, a poser. You don't belong in the rap world. And I'm saying this as if I'm like some kind of like gatekeeper, diehard like rap lover. And I'm not even like, I half the time I can't even stand rap. Okay. But, for me to be saying that about like a genre that I'm not even really all that fond of, like, that's how you know this man is annoying and pathetic. Truly, truly pathetic. This is what Kendrick meant when he said you were a colonizer. You cosplay, and then you turn around and behave like the colonizer that you are, right? Just pathetic and embarrassing. And so Drake is also mad that the song won a bunch of Grammy Awards. He won 5 awards or something like that. And Drake says that is because Universal Music Group was buying the Grammys for Kendrick. Like Joy says, take your L and go. Take your L and go. At this point, you are torching your career. And I don't think it's ever going to be at a level that it once was. I don't think that his peers can ever respect him again after doing something like this. This is not okay. Exactly, Shem. Like, he's so weird. What is this? This is so weird. And listen, he should have been embarrassed of, texting children, right? But he was bragging about texting children. He should be embarrassed of the fact that he is interested in girls' high school basketball, children high school basketball, right? But he brags about it. He's unwell. He's a weirdo through and through. Bunny says K-Dot knew the Super Bowl was family programming. That's why. Exactly. That, I think that's a good defense. Bunny, are you on his defense team? Are you a lawyer? Let me find out you're a lawyer, girl. That's why he didn't say PDF or curse words. He wasn't afraid of Drake because he did say, hey, Drake, I heard you like him young. Period. I like that. Kendrick Lamar, your lawyers need to screenshot this because it's true. It's family programming. Why would I swear? Why would I say PDF file on family programming, Drake? Or should I say Aubrey? Yucca. Yucca. And you're right, Allie. I don't think they ever really respected him like that. Let's see. Oh my God. I'm so happy to be done talking about that man. Ugh, so embarrassing. He's an embarrassment to Canada. Like, my fellow Canadians and I apologize to the world for that man. Now, here's something you Americans need to apologize for us to the rest of the world for, the Kardashians. Now we're even. Canadians apologize for Drake. Americans, y'all apologize for the Kardashians right now. I want to see some apologies in the live chat. Or if you're part of my playback posse, I want to see some apologies in the comments section. So Khloe Kardashian, on that Call Her Daddy podcast, she made some comments about not allowing her children to have sleepovers. And I'm really curious about it because, listen, I understand parents who do not want their children to have sleepovers at like friends' houses, right? Or, maybe the uncle's house. But to me, like thinking of the Kardashian family with them like being women and then with them being just so high profile, I find it to be like exceptionally interesting that Khloe does not want for, her kids to sleep over at any of her sister's houses. So she said, and I quote, I don't let my kids sleep anywhere. I'm very strict about it. Times are different. They're not allowed to have sleepovers just because I'm one of those types. I just think too much. I've watched too much Dateline. So we already saw some of this play out on the show when Kourtney asked her if she was ever going to let True sleep over at her house. And, here's the thing. When it comes to Kourtney Kardashian, I get why Khloe doesn't want her kids to sleep at Kourtney's house. Kourtney's a little bit lawless with the children, right? And then on top of that, she's kind of a weirdo. Like she and her Travis relationship and how like they make out to an inappropriate extent and they kind of like dry hump in front of people and whatnot. Like I get Khloe not wanting that. And then on top of that, it's a man in the house. But with the rest of her sisters, like Kim is single, it's just her and her kids. Like, is Kim not a safe person? Kylie, same thing. Maybe she doesn't want Timothy Chalamet around her kids or something like that. I don't know. Right. But I do find that to be rather, not even Chris's house. Is it because Corey's there? Like, what is it? I'm curious. Do you guys, who have kids, do you let them even sleep over at your sister's house? And if your sister is single, because I get it, if your sister's married or this or that, or, whatever. I don't know. Is it because of other children? Because sometimes, I don't know. But listen, at the end of the day, Khloe has the flexibility to make her own schedule, right? And so maybe like she just says, listen, it's not even necessary for me because I make my own schedule to a way where I don't even need this, right? Do they like, sometimes she goes away for work. Like, do they never like even with the staff or something like that? Like just have staff watching over them while she's away for like, a business meeting or something like that? Very, very, very curious, right? Ali says, y'all don't claim the Kardashians. High school girls, he's 38 years old. None of y'all claim them. Okay, listen, I don't even want to claim Drake, but I apologize. And y'all don't even want to claim the Kardashians at all. Lisa says he couldn't say at the Super Bowl. Yep, exactly. Emily says so many clowns this morning. Yep, it's true. It's the clown show. Welcome to the circus. Thank you, Luz. Thank you. Jaleesa says she is with Khloe. Today she doesn't want the Kardashians either. Foxy doesn't know them. She is on her Mariah when it comes to these people. Ali says it makes sense. You can't control what happens in other homes, so you can control what happens in your home. I agree. Alabama. Oh, that's true. You see, Courtney's house is the one I understand the most. I wouldn't either. Listen, I don't have kids, but I do have a pet rock, and I'm not sure I would let my pet rock at Courtney's lawless house, right? I agree. You know, the older kids could be bad influences. And don't forget, Courtney, isn't it Alabama Barker's friends that are streaming Courtney's child Rain on the internet, you know, and exposing him to comments on social media, like people saying, oh, is Justin Bieber your dad? Like that type of thing. So I understand it. But, you know, the whole Dateline thing makes it seem like a lot more sinister than that, although that is rather inappropriate as well, right? Joy says it's probably because of what she sees in Hollywood. True. Gwen is not with them at all, and I get it. Arnie says it scares me. I have 3 girls, and I worry about the situation all the time. Isn't it crazy the amount of anxiety that comes with children? And apparently, even when they're grown and whatnot, like you still do have a certain level of anxiety, you know, and worry for their safety. And you know what? That's a good point, Brie. You know, it's the staff sometimes, right? Like, because these people, they don't just live alone in these massive houses. There's a lot of security around as well. And, you know, Khloe knows her security team. She knows her nannies. She knows her chef. She knows her gardener. She doesn't know these people on that level. Maybe that's it, right? See? So it really feels like a lot of you guys do see what she's talking about, you know, and maybe it's not even necessarily about the sisters in particular. It could be the people that are around them. Shem says, so is shacking up just the norm now for people with kids? I can't imagine moving a partner in my kids before we're married, or at least years in a years-long serious relationship. Yeah. But, you know, wait. I don't think Timothy Chalamet lives with Kylie, although there were rumors of them buying an apartment in Paris. But maybe like he hangs out some nights or something like that. I don't know. But I would imagine it's when Stormy is with, or what is it? Stormy and Air are with, what's his face? I don't know. And then Courtney and Travis, they're married. And they were like married, but living apart for a while until recently. Like he says, their mom is Chris. I'm sure she doesn't want that narcissistic favoritism to affect them without being present to control the situation. Mm-hmm. I feel like there's a variety of reasons. You know, I feel like all of our minds, you know, went to like one thing too, like at first, but I do think that there's a variety of reasons for why she wouldn't be comfortable with something like this. And I get it. All right. Gwen doesn't do sleepovers either. All my siblings are 18 to 23 years younger than me. Damn. Wow. 18 to 23. You are like, you must be like a second like mom to them or something like that. Cami says Drake changed a lot since his days on Degrassi. He really did. And he was so cute on Degrassi. And I'll never forget, because remember, I'm Canadian, right? So when I was first introduced to Drake, it was on a Canadian TV show called E-Talk. And I've been trying to find this footage forever, but he was still like, you know, looking like Jimmy from Degrassi. With his little, he had just gotten his glasses off. And so he was talking about like how he's going to be a rapper and he's only going to make music that respects women. He'll never call women the B word in his music. We've come a long way from that. And Nikki says, my son has never been to a friend's sleepover, only family. You see, like I get it with the friends for sure. And then I get it at some points with family too. But to me, I was very curious because I'm like, listen, Khloe, your sisters are girls. And then on top of that, they're all so damn high profile. Do you really think they would ever let anything happen? You know, what's really tea? What's really going on? Deb says dream is forever at her. Exactly, right? But I guess it's because Rob is kind of a, you know, he seems to be a lazy parent just based off of how much Khloe prides herself on basically being a third parent for Dream, you know, when she's only ever really a third parent for Dream when he's in Rob's custody. So there's that. And I imagine she does sleep over there. She probably has her own bedroom over there. Venetia says, I don't let my daughter have a sleepover and she's 16. Good for you. You know the stories I've heard about these sleepovers? My parents were the same way. I couldn't do no damn sleepovers. Didn't you guys hear about that story about like the guy, there was like kids sleeping over, you know, for his daughter, and then he was putting like sleeping pills or something in their smoothies and like passing his fingers under their nose to see if they were like breathing or something. Be careful. And Bree says, I mean, she grew up in Hollywood and that world. They're around so many people. Think about that. Yup. And her dad played tennis with the Menendez brother. Only sleepover with my cousins. You see? Oh Lord. Listen, Khloe, I get it. You know, I feel like there's just a certain level of anxiety, right? You know, it's like they're so fragile, and especially their psyches are so fragile, so young. So why take unnecessary risks if you don't have to? I I get it, Khloe, and I get it for all of you guys who are against sleepovers as well. I think it's better to be safe than sorry. Hey, Hamlets, I have to know the parents for sure, but also my daughter is aware of what to look out for. And, that is important too, to have conversations with your children and whatnot, about being alert, vigilant in any situation, and like feeling free and comfortable to come to you and talk about things. You guys, this felt like so quick. Today's episode of the Morning Report. I'm looking at the time. It's 5:01. Listen, I think I'm going to pop back on Monday anyway. I know it's a holiday and whatnot. We probably won't have too much news, but I am going to, come and do a little bit of a morning report, even if it's a shorter one, or, maybe it's going to be more like you guys talking because, I think a lot of you guys are going to be off of work and whatnot. So maybe you guys want to be, calling in to share your thoughts on things. That could be cool. I'm also going to be trying out my members only Members Monday. I'm trying to find the name for it. We're going to try that as well on Monday after the morning report. Okay, you guys, thank y'all so much for tuning in with me for another episode of the morning report. I hope y'all have a great weekend. Happy Easter if you celebrate, and I'll catch you back again here on Monday. Okay, take care, you guys. Bye.